Nobody knows what's going to happen with Bitcoin or Ethereum in the next 10 years. It could go down just as fast as it went up. All right. And this could all be going down in the history books 20 years from now, saying that this was the biggest scam ever. And we just lost $1 trillion worth of, assets. But what I do know is the trajectory, the hype, and if all the smart people are making the smart moves and they're communicating the right things, Bitcoin will continue going up. The 1% need to feed. They need to eat. All right. How are they going to do that if they're not taking profit? Yo, mic check, mic check. It's Who's, aka Trader on the Block. I just want to quickly take you through a little bit of the market action today, which is pretty boring. But what I want to take you through is some of the hope that's coming around with Bitcoin, some of the news and the hype that's starting to fizzle up from the graveyard, if you know what I mean. It looks like it's going to be an extended ranging 2022. We started off on the wrong foot with inflation, but I think there's some hope in the layer twos, the altcoins we'll call it, are playing a really, really critical part in the recovery that we're going to be seeing in cryptocurrency. I'm looking forward to seeing what actually wins in this round of bull runs. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Bitcoin or Ethereum in the next 10 years. It could go down just as fast as it went up. All right. And this could all be going down in the history books 20 years from now, saying that this was the biggest scam ever. And we just lost $1 trillion worth of, assets. But what I do know is the trajectory, the hype, and if all the smart people are making the smart moves and they're communicating the right things, Bitcoin, along with a majority of the altcoins that actually provide some utility, will continue going up. That's just the way the market moves. The 1% need to feed. They need to eat. All right. How are they going to do that if they're not taking profits on their securities, on their assets? And remember, investors sometimes want to sell their assets in order to offset some of the capital gains that they've had to pay in the prior year. So what happens is a selling pressure kicks in. And that could be what we're experiencing with Bitcoin. But what I can tell you is that this is a map of human emotion in front of you, all right? What's going on with Bitcoin? What can we see? What can we hope for? Hey guys, I love Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, Traderondablock with a D. And if you could, I would love if you could put your thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, put the little bell thingy notification on. Follow me for more updates. Thank you. Love you guys. There are a couple of things that we can probably look at that can give us some hope, but at the same time, there's a lot of data that I'm not even going to mention in this video that is true, that's happening right now, such as high volumes of wallets that are opening up, high volumes of Bitcoin that's leaving the exchanges, which is a symbol of bullish pressure or hodlers, meaning people don't want to sell. That's what's happening, is that when people are moving coin out of crypto exchanges, they're ending up in a cold wallet. And when that happens, people aren't able to sell. So that's what indicates Bitcoin, or the cryptocurrency in question, is actually going to stay or go up very soon. And that's what's indicated in Bitcoin fundamental analysis and on-chain analysis. What are we looking at here in front of us from Matthew Highland, Mr. Matthew Highland from Twitter, at Matthew Highland _ NASDAQ pre-dot bubble versus Bitcoin today. Now, I see this chart and I say, great, it is very similar. But I also responded to this person. I tweeted this person and quoted this person, and I told this person that I agree, but at the same time, this type of market structure occurs every second of the day in every asset. And then this green part that he's illustrating right here, this is what happened in NASDAQ. He's illustrating that could happen in Bitcoin. Now, the thing is, this market structure plays out, it goes both ways. It fakes you out here and it goes back down. The thing is, overall market structure is bullish on Bitcoin. That's why I agree to this, is that most likely I think this is what's going to take. I've been calling for this wick for a long time. I think that this wick is going to be down at 20,000 because, as I explained in my previous videos, there is a liquidation zone, and we'll go through that in a minute. That has to be filled in. Now, popularity is still there for Bitcoin, and what I'm noticing is a lot of politicians and world leaders are actually going the route of taking their salaries in Bitcoin. This is actually an important metric to track, because if this continues, not only obviously the adoption is going to go up, but what is also going to happen is there's going to be different reasons why people will hold Bitcoin. So why is it important for us to note down that Bitcoin could be taken as a salary? Basically e-commerce, being able to transact without using your bank card, but easily being able to transact a cryptocurrency, a secure cryptocurrency across the web in order to make purchases that you can make on a regular basis, like electricity. So that means that these politicians aren't going to necessarily hodl their Bitcoin. They're actually spending it on their day-to-day expenses. So that's a different way to look at why these politicians are taking Bitcoin as salary. And now that adoption is going to spiral into not only adoption of more politicians taking Bitcoin as their salary, but they're also going to use other cryptocurrencies to take salaries in different countries. Another article that further solidifies Bitcoin's dominance in 2022 and in the future is this article that predicts that Bitcoin's price by 2025 could be north of close to $200,000 and $400,000 by 2030. Now, this committee is composed of 33 fintech organizations, and they do price predictions on Bitcoin. So that's a very interesting read. Hey guys, listen, I love Twitter and I love to tweet. If you guys got 2 seconds, I would love for you to check me out at Traderondablock, Traderondablock, and just follow me. I love posting on there. I always post on YouTube as well. And by the way, if you could, I'd love a like and subscribe to the video. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much.
So what we can see from the chart is, number one, as everybody knows, that this thing is sitting at a support line here. Now, whether it's going to break, that is the $1 trillion question. Is it going to break this line? If it does, then we're looking at different volume. And I've been calling that 20,000, this is where we're going to end up before we start moving back up again. Why is that section important? And number one, back in 2017, we hit that section, that zone, and we ranged for over 3 years, okay, until we broke out in 2020, and this is that bull run that occurred. Now, this area, we almost reached that area to retrace that area June 2021, and it went back up. And I feel like this area is when it should have retraced back to 20,000 and hit up and continue, or sorry, had ranged and then continue up. But what happened is there was a large volume of orders that were just so enticing that institutional traders had to run this price up and then drop it back down to continue the original move that they were going to plan, which was here. Now, what I think is going to happen is, and I'm not a psychic, guys, this is not financial advice. In fact, if you think this is financial advice, then pretend as if I'm a monkey and I'm giving you financial advice as a monkey. So what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a similar wick that we saw in that chart just recently, and it's going to hit this zone right here, and then it's going to retrace and go up. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So I think a pullback down and then some ranging, and then I think it's just going to go back and forth, maybe a fake out or two, and then continue up. You know what I literally just drew right now? Here's what I drew. This market action right here. I literally just drew this. It's going to go here, fake you out here, drop it back one more time before it runs back up. That's exactly also what happened in Ethereum. It's exactly what happened in Ethereum. It ran up right here is when people thought it was going to be a bullish market. And what happened? It didn't work out. It didn't work out. Okay, let me just put on a log and so we can see what I'm talking about. It ran up here. This is where the ETH update came, and then it ran out. This was the first update. This was the Glacier update right here in 2020. the market ran up, faked out, and then another update here, and then that just ran up over here. Sorry, this was about it. What am I talking about? Yeah, that was it. Sorry, that was it. So what do I think is going to happen with Bitcoin? Look, everybody knows that this thing is bullish. Long term, this thing is bullish. What you got to consider as an investor is how much are you willing to risk for you to potentially put it into some sort of crypto. This is not financial advice, but what you're looking at here is so far a drop of 50% of its high. What you'll also notice is the price will retrace back there one day. In one day in eternity, it'll come back to retest that, whether it's the wick out and continue down forever into zero. Whether that happens or not, this price will be retraced. And that is my opinion that I believe as a fact. But if what I would do is I would DCA in here, okay, at this point. It's dropped 50%. I think there's potential of it risking another maybe 20 to 30%, up to 20,000. Whether it'll go down to 10,000, I think is very unlikely, but will it happen? Maybe. You never know. If it does, then it does. Be able and willing to risk that much. If people are fearful that the price is going to rally and they're going to miss out, then I suggest that you watch what happened in history. Every time people bought into a potential rally, they lost out. This is one of them right here. A perfect example is markets going down. People are they're too scared to buy in now, but then they see one or two bullish candles. Oh my God, I'm gonna miss this bull run, and boom, it crashes down on them. And this is when they're like, you know what? Bitcoin's a scam, Ethereum's a scam, crypto's a scam. And then they sell at a loss, and then that's when they friggin' should have fucking bought. All right? So don't buy out of emotion. Know that price will come back to test and confirm what you think is already going to happen, which is it's going to go up. Just don't try to get the bottom. Try to save your money. That's what your goal should be. Don't catch the bottom. Try to save your money, and if you're lucky, try to make a little bit of money. So that technically is the goal of doing this. Now, if you start making a lot of money and you start getting used to the market and these market dynamics and these movements, then you can start thinking with a little less humility and start putting in a little more change and a little more money. If you're talking about Bitcoin, this thing's going up. Whether you should buy or not, look, right now you'd be buying at a 50% discount on an all-time high. If this thing goes back to its all-time high, then you make your money plus 50%. Now, if you wait for someone like me, I DCA, so I buy pretty much all the time. So I bought all these spots. What I plan on doing is also putting a bag down if it comes down to the $20,000, because I think that is definitely a strong buyer zone. And if it does go down, it's going to be very short term in the form of a wick potentially, and then it's going to come back up. So if you look at a month chart, let me get rid of some of these right here. If you look at a month chart, see this wick right here, it might fill that wick again to retest that, and then see here, come back and wick this out before moving up. But overall, look at the amount of bull candles, look at the amount of bear candles. And what this tells you is that, look, market is just trying to test the price to see if that's a fair price. And if it isn't, and look, guys, we all wish it isn't, it's going to shoot back up. You saw that article. They're calling for in 2030, $400,000. Try to accumulate Bitcoin, guys. That's what I'm doing. That's what I think smart investors should do. Hey, guys, I love Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, Traderondablock with a D. And if you could, I would love if you could put your thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, put the little bell thingy notification on. Follow me for more updates. Thank you. Love you guys. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to reconfirm to everybody that, look, this thing is going to go down, but it's going to go back up eventually. I am confident that this thing is going to reach heights that prior to the last couple of years thought impossible. There's too much technology that requires Bitcoin. There's too much technology that's evolved to a point where for it to sustain itself will require this technology for it to sustain itself. So I think that this thing is definitely going to be bullish. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you guys loved the video. If you did, hit hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Ciao.